Good morning, everyone. In this lecture, we are starting Unit 3. Unit 3 is about data structures. So, the contents of Unit 3 are lists, tuples, sets, dictionaries, sequences, and list comprehensions. So, let us cover this in 3 to 4 videos. In this lecture, let us talk about the most versatile and very important, frequently used data structure lists. A list is a sequence of values. So, list is similar to arrays in C. The values in a list are called elements or items. The items of a list don't have to be of same type. For example, in C, when we declare an array, we will declare the type of the array at the before, and all the elements should be of the same type. But here we are telling that a list can have mixed types. For example, you can see the example. In the list, the first element is in the li Malaysia, that is a string, an integer, this is a boolean, and another list is also part of the list. Okay, list can contain any other object. That is the specialty of list in Python. Then how to create a list? So there are two ways for creating a list. One is by using the square braces, and we can pass the elements separated by comma into the square brace. The second one is by using the function list. Okay, these are two ways. So you can see the example here. When I say li is equal to, in the square brace, 1 2 3 4, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. So here I am creating a list of integers. Okay, in the same way I am creating some other list here, videos 15. So a sublist cp python, and I closed this. There are many types in this. This is how we can create a list. I am simply assigning that to a particular variable, and this is a list variable. We can also create a list using the list function. For example, li is equal to list. This creates an empty list. Z is equal to list AEIO. I am passing a string. What happens is that the string will be splitted into single characters, and that will form a list. Okay, this is how you can create a list. Then how can we access the elements of the list? It is exactly like accessing an element in an array by using an index. So we should be using the bracket operator and passing the index in the bracket operator. And indexing in Python starts from 0. For example, if I had the same list li is equal to 1 2 3 4, then to access the first element I need to pass li of 0. Li of 0 refers to the first element in list. In this example, that is 1. So we can also use negative indexing. For example, if I say li of -1, it will be counted from the end. So li of -1 represents the last element in the list. So for clarity, you look at this image. I had a list with these elements: 1 5.2, that is a float, 9 96, a string, face, Python 8.6. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 elements are there. And when I want to access this list, what should I be doing is that the first element can be accessed using the 0, second element index is 1, and so on up to 6 5. Okay, the last element, which is the sixth element, the index will be 5. Okay, so we can also access using the negative indices. For example, if I say -1, that will represent the last element. -1 will be representing this 8.6. -2 is representing the Python, that is this element. Like that, from the end of the list, we can come to the beginning of the list using the negative indices. This is how we will access elements of the list. Traversing a list. For example, I want to access almost all the elements in the list. Okay, then the best way is by using the for loop. Okay, the most common way to traverse elements of a list is by using for loop. For I in li, this is one way. So what happens is that all the elements in the list li will be assigned to I in a sequence. Print li, print I. This will print all the elements of the list. This works well if you only need to read the elements of the list. I don't want to modify the elements of the list, then this works fine. But if I want to modify the elements of the list, I need the index. So if you want to modify or update the elements of the list, you need indices. Then the syntax is for I in range length of I. Length of I is a function which will return the number of elements in the list. Okay, when I pass it to the range, it will form a range from 0 to length of I. Okay, length of I minus 1. So this time I can access the elements using the index. So li of I is equal to li of I into 2. What happens is that we are modifying the elements in the list, multiplying every element in the list with a 2. Okay, so if you want to modify the elements in the list, it is better if you access them using the index. If you just want the values and want to do something with that, then it is better if you just read the elements in this fashion. For I in Li, this fashion is better. Okay, so this above loop modifies the list. As the lists are mutable, so we can modify them. It is possible to modify the list in place. Okay, so when we think about different sequences in Python, for example, when we think about strings are not immutable, whereas the lists are mutable. Tuples, we have something called tuples are also immutable. Okay, we should remember this. What does this immutable mean? List operations. Okay, when we think about different operators, we can apply the plus and star, that is multiplication operator, on the list. Okay, if I apply plus between two lists, for example, I got a list A is equal to 137 and B is equal to 5 9 10. When I apply A plus B and assign it to C, what happens is the elements in these two lists will be concatenated. So the plus operator concatenate lists. Okay, 1 3 7 5 9 10 will be the output. And in the same way, when I apply this star operator, okay, it will repeat the list a given number of times. For example, if I take 1 2 3 star 2, what happens is that this 1 2 3 will be repeated twice. The output will be 1 2 3 1 2 3. If I say 0 star 5, the output will be 5 zeros. This is how these operators will work. These are list operators. We got place and star. Slicing a list. Okay, slicing a list always returns a sublist. I got a list, I want some part of the list to be returned. I want a range of items in the list to be accessed. Okay, then we use slicing. The operator for slicing is colon. This colon is the slicing operator. For example, I got a list A, B, C, D, E. Okay, there are 5 elements 0 to 4. Indexing is 0 to 4. If I say Li of 2 colon 4, so when I use this slicing operator, I need to pass two indices, starting index and the last index. Okay, so when I say 2 colon 4, what happens is that slicing starts as the first index. From the second element, the slicing happens. So C will be included in the result, D will be included, and the fourth element is this E, that won't be included. Slicing starts from the first index and includes all the items up to, but not including the second index. Okay, this thing we should remember. Sometimes we can omit the first index or the second index. If I omit the first index, the slicing starts from the beginning of the list. If you omit the second index, then slicing continues up to the last element of the list. That is about slicing in lists. These are the methods. There are many methods available, built-in methods. Okay, here we are discussing some methods. Let us open idle and practice these methods. So we can see the first method is append. Append is something which will add an element to the list at the end of the list. For example, I just want to run every method in the interactive mode, and let us practice this. Okay, let me take a list Z. Z is equal to, it is, I said that we have two ways to create the list. One is by using the square braces. The second one is by using the list function. So I can pass any sequence here. So here I am passing a sequence like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Okay, that will create a list with number of elements. Let me see if list is created. You can see that there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 elements are there in this list. So indexing will be from 0 to 9. Okay, the first element is 0 and the last element is 9. If I say Z of 0, A will be accessible. Now let me try IJ. I want to add K here at the end. So if I want to add an element at the end of the list, I can use the function append. Let me pass the element here. I want to add K. So append is a function which adds an element at the end of the list. Let me check if the element is added or not. You can see that K is added at the end of the list. Okay, that is the purpose of append. Okay, append adds an element at the end of the list. The second function here is clear. Clear will clear every element in the list. Our list will become empty if I say clear. So I am not clearing now. We will practice it later. We see the third element, copy. If I want to copy all the elements in the Z to another list, for example, if I say x is equal to Z dot copy, it will copy all the elements from the Z into x. Let me see if x contains all the elements of Z. You can see that x contains every element of the Z. Okay, that is about copy. The fourth function here is count. When I say count, it will count how many times a particular element occurred in the list. For example, if I want to say Z dot count a, how many times a is there in this list? It is only one time. Let me see. One. Okay. So let me do one thing. Z dot append a. I am adding another a. Now let me count Z dot count a. You can see there are two a's in the list Z. Okay. We got something called extend. Extend is to add another list at the end of the list. If I want to add another list at the end of the list, okay, I can use extend. For example, if I say Z dot extend x, we got another list x. Okay, let me see the Z now. You can see that at the beginning this is Z, last element is a, after that this is x. So both the lists were joined together by the extend method. So extend is a method which will take another list as the argument and combines or adds the elements of that list at the end of the Z, that is the existing list. Okay, let us look at index. Index is a method when you give a particular element. For example, if I pass f, it will tell what is the position of that particular element. If I say Z dot index f, where is f actually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be 5. The output is 5. So this is what we mean by index. Okay. For example, I, j, k. Let me get the index of k. Z dot index k. So index of k is 10. Okay. So what is the index of this a? It will be 11. What will happen if I say z dot index of a? The answer is 0. You can see this. What happened is, instead of giving the position of this a, the function returned the position of this a. So index will return the position of the first occurrence of this element. Okay, if the particular element occurred number of times, okay, it will return the position of the first occurrence of this particular element. That is the reason it is giving a. In the same way, it is giving 10 here because this is at the 10th position. We got another k. It is not considering the second occurrence. That is about index. Okay, if I want to insert an element in the middle, for example, k is at 10th position. If the 11th position I want to insert an element, then I say that z dot insert. Okay, I need to pass the position, index and object. You can see this here, it is helping me index comma object. So index is I want to place at 11th position. Let us assume 11 comma, and I want to insert L, J, K, L. Okay, let me try. Now check Z. There is L also inserted there. So what happened to the previous element which was in position A? It was moved to the right, that is to the position 12. Okay, so every element was moved one step right when you insert an element in the list. That is by using the insert method. Pop removes the elements at the specified position. That is a description there. If I say z dot pop, now if I want to remove this particular element at 12 a, because there were two a's here, I want to remove one a. I am passing the index here. Pop index. Okay, this will remove that particular element and it will show the element we got. You can see that it is returning a. I don't know what happened to the list. If I look at the list now, this a is exactly there, no problem. When it comes to here, okay, there is only one a. Previously there were two a's here. One is removed. So pop is going to remove the element at the given index. If I don't give any index also, pop will work. So without index, if I run, it will remove the last element in the list. That is, this k will be removed. Let me check. If I look at the elements in the Z now, you can see the last element K is not here. We've got a particular function called remove. If I say Z dot remove, all these are methods. That is the reason object and dot operator is being used. Every time our interpreter is going to help us, you can see this idle shell is helping me remove. I need to pass a value. If I pass some value here A, this will remove the first occurrence of A. So I need not pass the index. When I don't know the index and know only the value, if I want to remove, then I can use this remove function. Look at Z now. You can see that the first occurrence of A, that is A here, the 0th element is removed. That is how this remove is working here. Reverse, I want to reverse all the elements in the list, then Z dot reverse. So if you look at Z now, you can see that the elements in the list are reversed. Okay. Sort. Okay, we can sort the elements. For example, if my elements are 1, 19, 54, 12, if I run sort, the elements will be arranged in the increasing, that is ascending order. In the same way for alphabets also, they will be arranged in the dictionary order. Okay, if I say Z dot sort and run this function, now if I look at Z, you can see this A, BB, CC, DD, all the elements were sorted. This is what sort is. So we have gone through all the functions except the clear. I said that clear will clear all the elements in the particular list. Now look at list. This became an empty list. Okay, there were many other methods available. So you can just Google them and practice them. Okay, don't stop here. So here we are introducing around 10 different methods, 10 or 11 methods. Practice every method, remember them, and practice all other available methods also. So it is not a good idea just to remember different things what we can do with the list. It's better if you try to solve some programs. There were 5 programs here. I will solve few of them. Then we will think of solving other things. Okay. What is the first question here? Find the sum of all the elements in a list. For example, I got a list with integers and I want to find the sum of all the elements. I want to write a program, don't want to use any method. Let me try this. I'm creating a new file. I want to define a function, okay, which will find the sum of total of all the elements. So I'm telling sum of elements in a list. I need to pass a list to it, li I am passing. So how can I access all the elements in the list? We remember for I in li, this will access every element in the list, okay, and I just want to read every element and add it to some particular variable. I'm taking total is equal to 0. So if I read the first element from the list and add it to the total, so total plus is equal to I. So total will become the first element. Then I am adding the second element. Then I will add third element. Then I will add fourth element. How many elements are there? Okay, I will add every element to the total. Return total. This is a simple way of writing this. This will return the sum of all the elements in the list. Okay, so this will work for all the elements where this operator plus will work. All kinds of elements where that operator plus will work. Let me check. If name is equal to main, okay, what is that I want to do? I want to find the total of some list. Print sum underscore list. For this I need to pass a list, so I am creating a list here. 2, 5, 7, 9. I don't know the total of that. Okay, 2 plus 5, 7, 14, 9, 23. Let me run this. I need to add another closing parenthesis. You should be very careful with the syntax. Saving it, you can see 23, that is the total. Okay, if I add another element here, for example 23 plus 10, it should be 33. Run. 33. So this is how we are accessing every element. Okay, I said that if I just want to access the element without modifying the list, okay, then I can use this method of reading the elements in a list for I in Li. This is the solution for the first program. Let me look at the second program. Search for a particular element and replace it. What does it mean? For example, I got a list, some list Z. Okay, then it contains some elements like 23, 45, 56, 67, 89, 23, 34. This is the list I got. So if the person asks me to replace 23 with 3, what should happen is the resulting list should have 3 here and 3 here. That is, I need to find if a particular element is there, and if that element is there, I have to replace it with some other particular value given by the user. So I am writing this define. The name I am taking it as search and replace. Okay, so to make it easy, I am just putting underscore here, search and replace, or find and replace. So search, I am writing find and replace. This is the name I am giving. So I should pass a list, the value I should search for, and with the value with which I want to replace it. For example, in this example, the list is Z, the value I am searching is 23. I want to replace it with 3. Okay, this is the list, this is the value I am searching for, this is the value with which I want to replace. Okay, then so first of all, I need to search for the element. To search for the element, it is the best idea to use the for I in. So I want to replace the values, I want to change the modify the list, so it's better to use range method, range length of Li. Okay, colon. Now I need to check it. If Li of I, if this element is equal to value 1, they are equal, then what should I do? Li of I should be replaced with value 2. That's all. That will replace all the elements. After the for loop is finished, I want to return Li. Okay, let me check it if that works. Replacing this, I'm removing this line, I don't want sum anymore. I got Z here. So find and replace. I want to print the result, so I am telling print find and replace Z comma 23 comma 3. I want to replace all the 23 elements, that is all the values 23 with 3. Run module. Okay, so this is the output I got. Here is 3, whereas I passed 23, and you can see that here also I got 23, which is replaced with 3. Okay, this is find and replace. What happens if I pass a value which is not present in the list? For example, if I say 11 3, I want to replace 11 with 3. There are no 11s here. Run module. Okay, this is the output I got. 23, 45, 56, 67, 89, 23, 34. So no element is replaced. The same list is returned back. Okay, this is how this function can be written. So if you understand how to access all the elements and understand what we have to do, we can do it. Okay, let me look at the third question. Write a program that defines a matrix and prints. Okay, matrix. When we think of matrix, it should be a two-dimensional thing. A matrix is a two-dimensional thing. For example, if I want to access a matrix and print it, okay, then I should be using nested lists. What is a nested list? In our discussion, we said that a list can contain another list. For example, if you remember, we are writing things like to high. Then in some cases, what I did is that 23 comma 45 close. So this particular element is a nested list, that is a list inside another list. Okay, so how to access these elements? I said that Z of 0 will access 2. Okay, Z of 1 will be high, and if I say Z of 2, it is accessing the list 23 and 45. If I want to access this 23 I should be using z of 2 of 0, that is 23. In the same way, if I want to create any matrices, okay, I should be using nested lists. For example, I want to create a matrix of 3 by 3. For example, x is equal to, I want to create a matrix like this, 1 2 3 comma, second row elements are 2 3 4, then this is second row, then third row elements I am taking it as 4 5 6. So this is how you will represent a matrix. A two-dimensional matrix is a two-dimensional thing. Okay, this is a two-dimensional list. For example, if I want to access the first row, that will be x of 0. It will return the whole list. First element will be x of 0 0. This is our first element. If I say x of 0 1, that will be second element in the first row. You can see that 2 is written here. Okay, I can access any element using this nested indexing. I can access every element using the nested indexing. So now I need to create a matrix and I want to print it as a matrix. So matrix can be created like this. This is a simple way to create the matrix. Okay, then if I want, I can print a matrix also. So here I am creating this x. I want to print the matrix, so I am writing the function define print matrix. Okay, I need to pass a matrix to this. I'm calling it as MAT. Okay, if I want to print a matrix like this, I should use for I in range length mat. So what will this return length of matrix? For example, if you look here, length of matrix means this is first element, this is second element, this is third element. It will be 3. Length of x will be 3. Okay, it is not 9. This whole thing is treated as one element. So if I say length of matrix, ln of mat, not mat here x, that will be 3. For example, if I take x as or x dot append, want to append another value here, 2 5 7. Run this. Look at x. So now x has got 4 rows. Okay, if I say length of x now, it should be 4. Okay, this is what I mean by length of x. I can know number of rows using the length of x. Then how can I know the number of columns? To get the length columns, we can say that length of x of 0. Let me pass any row, x of 1 or x of 2 or x of 3. Okay, then if I pass it to the length function, then it will get the number of columns. So there are 3 columns and 4 rows. So when I say I want to print the matrix, then in the first for loop I have to put the range of the number of rows, that is length of matrix. Then in the second for loop, for j in range, I am taking length of matrix of 0, which means that I am getting the columns there. Okay, I need to close 2 braces here. Okay, then so for ij, now I want to print mat of I j. So this will print first element, then second element, third element in the row. I don't want everything to be printed in different lines, so I am telling this end space. After this for loop is finished, when one row is printed, I want to print an empty line. Okay, this is how the matrix will be printed. Let me check. I just want to comment these lines. I want to print x. So here I am calling this function print underscore matrix x. Run this method, run module F5. Okay, so this is the matrix 1 2 3 2 3 4 4 5 6. Okay, for example, if I add another row here, telling 8 comma 7 comma 2. Okay, let me run it again now. There should be 4 rows. You can see the last row is 872. Okay, this is how we can print a matrix. This is print matrix function. Okay, so when we think about how to represent a matrix, it is very simple. It is nothing but a two-dimensional list, that is list of lists, nested lists we say. Let me look at what are the other functions. Write a program to perform addition of two square matrices. Write a program to perform multiplication of two square matrices. There are two programs that I need to write. Okay, if time permits, I will do both, or I will stop with addition of two matrices. If I want to add two matrices, what is the function I need to write? I'm telling define. Okay, matrix addition. So I need two matrices to be passed. I need to add two matrices, matrix 1, matrix 2. If I want to check, I have to check if they were of the same dimensions or not. Okay, if I want to add two matrices, they should be of the same dimension, same number of rows and same number of columns. Okay, so I can see this. If I said rows will be in length of mat, if ln of mat1 is not equal to ln of mat2, that is if the rows are not equal, or length of mat1 of 0, this is columns, is not equal to length of mat2 of 0. Okay, so this is about columns. If anything is not equal, simply print addition not possible and come out of the function. To come out of the function, we use return. Okay, if the addition is possible, then I need to use another matrix. We will see how to create the matrix. Then if everything is very well, then what should I do? I need to add the elements and write it. So for I in range, first of all I need rows, so length of mat1, I can use anything, mat1 or mat2, because both will be same. For j in range, length of mat1 of 0, this will represent the columns. Okay, now I am telling this, let me create another list here. I am calling it as temp. Temp is equal to, there is nothing in temp now, so here I am telling that temp dot append. Okay, let me add the first elements, that is mat1 of I j plus mat2 of I j. So these two elements will be added and appended to the temp, so temp will get one element. Then again the j value will change, and again temp will get second element, j value will change, temp will get third element, there will be one row. I just want to add this row to the matrix 3. So I am coming out of this for loop. Okay, then I am telling that mat3 dot append temp. Okay, when I come out of this for loop and come here, again temp will be nil, again three elements will be added, and that will be added to mat3. So at the end I want to return mat3. So this is a very simple code. If you don't understand, try to go through the code again. So why I am creating mat3, why I am creating temp. Okay, if you just understand that, everything else is very straightforward. Let me run this program. Okay, to run this program, let me call this, let me check, I got x here 3/4. Let me say that y is equal to, let me create y 1 1 1. Rows should be same, that means there should be only three elements here, 2 then 3, 3, 4. Okay, everything is fine. So I need to call this particular addition. So I am telling that print, because it returns value, I can print it. No, I don't want to print. Let me return the value. So x, y, z is equal to, I made matrix addition x comma y. I am passing x, y, they should be added, and the return value is in the z. Now I am telling print underscore matrix z. Here run module. You can see this, we got the output. Is it all fine? 1 plus 1, 2. Okay, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, that is working fine. 8 plus 4, 12, 7 plus 4, 11, 2 plus 4, 6. Okay, it's fine. Matrix addition is happening nicely. And what is the last question there? Matrix, define matrix multiplication. This particular thing, many people will feel difficult. Okay, we have made one video in C programming about matrix multiplication. Try to watch it. I'm using the same procedure. Mat3 is equal to an empty list. I created an empty list. In matrix multiplication, what happens is that the first element in the matrix 1 will be multiplied with the first element in the matrix 2. That is 0, 0 element will be multiplied with 0, 0. After that, the same element, that is 0, 1, will be multiplied with 1, 0. We can see this. What is changing? In the first matrix, I am moving in the row wise. In the second matrix, I am moving in the column wise. Okay. So I need to take 3 particular variables, 3 for loops for I in. So I'm thinking about the first matrix and I'm moving in the row wise. So I want rows of the first matrix. That is range len. First matrix is mat1, and to get the rows, I will use mat1. Okay, then I'm thinking of the second element. Second frequently changing element is columns of the second matrix. So for j in range len mat2 of 0. Why I'm taking 0? I want to get columns. Okay. Then I can use columns of the first matrix for k in range length mat1 of 0. So I got all the 3 things. Okay. What I should do is that I need to multiply and append it somewhere. So which elements will be multiplied and where I have to append it. I got this matrix. I need to create a temp. Let me create a temp here. Temp is equal to empty list. So I want the whole row to be appended to temp, then that row should be appended to matrix. Okay. So I created a temp here, then let me create a value. Value is equal to, value plus is equal to mat1 of I k plus mat2 of k j. This is the order we should remember. Okay, this will be multiplied and added to the value. So then again the k value will change. This will be multiplied and added to the value into. These 2 elements will be multiplied and added to the value. So everything will be accumulated and will be in the value now. Then add it to temp. Temp dot append value. Okay. Then when I come out of this for loop, mat3 dot append temp. Okay. Again, I'll come here, a new temp is created. Then value will be added to the temp, then again the same process will be repeated. Return mat 3. Okay, I need to multiply the elements now. 3 by 4, 4 by 3 should be the, if I want to multiply the matrix 1, which is 3 by 4, with another matrix, another matrix should be 4 by 3. I am adding the elements like this, or we can simply take two square matrices, that will work very fine for us. So here I am taking matrix addition, I am removing and saying that matrix multiplication. Okay, if I want, I can also print matrix X, print matrix Y, and then I can say print product of X and Y above matrices. Okay, in the print function, let me add an additional print here. That will give a extra new line. Run. Everything is fine, we will get this. Product of above matrices, there is a problem here. Local variable value referenced before assignment. Value plus, okay. Let me make value is equal to 0 here. Now this is addition. Let me run this. Multiplied, and that is the output. Let me change some elements in the matrix 2. 0, 0, and let me run. Okay, with this we finished all the programs here. Try to practice every program. Thank you for being patient and listening to the whole class.